you said God's outline of it.
Right, right.
You
Let's pick
decide.
one.
You decide.
I'll pick one. So today we have quite a loss of formalities in some aspects, but what we don't see is all the little things that really keep our values and traditions today. Everything from the most simple, praying at a meal, having dinner with family, something as simple as that, to something as serious as a eulogy or a marriage. We have quite a range of all the formal things in life. And respectfully, we have a lot to learn about those things. And I think tonight we're going to see with both of our speakers how to keep those values and traditions. So I have the honor to introduce our first speaker, Elliot Adams, who is in Ireland today at a life celebration for his uncle Kerry Lindsay, who suddenly passed from this life into the next in hopes of abundance and everlasting rest. As a youth, Elliot was fortunate enough to have had Kerry care, mentor, and treat him more as a son than a nephew. Kerry would become and would always be viewed as a second father to Elliot. Please welcome our first speaker, Elliot Adams.
May the good earth be soft under you. When you rest upon it, may it rest easy over you. When, at last, you lay out under it, and may it rest so lightly over you that your soul may be out quickly from it, and up and off and be on its way to God. I wanted to take the opportunity this evening to thank every one of you for coming to a life celebration of my Uncle Kerry. My uncle was born in Ireland and immigrated to the United States when he was 5, along with his siblings, for an opportunity at a better life, along with his father and mother. But although he lived in the United States for a short time, he always called Ireland and considered Ireland his home. My Uncle Kerry would visit Ireland and lived there quite often throughout his lifetime. As my uncle grew older, the hardships of life molded him into the uncle that I grew to love and admire. My uncle's very hard-headed, opinionated, and he's very stubborn. But with these hardships, my uncle had to quit school when he was 15 to care for his siblings, and also to help out at home. And although he was highly skilled and intelligent, he would never had the opportunity to complete his primary studies. He was a hard worker, and no matter if you were blood or not, he considered you family when he met you. My uncle's love had no limits, and he always greeted people and everyone with a smile, a firm handshake, a hug, or a kiss. That just was the Irish way of doing things. Also, when the time came to leave him, that was the hardest thing for me to do, was to say goodbye. I always had a special bond with my uncle. I lived with my grandfather when I was young, and my grandfather passed away in the 80s. I apologize. I thought I would be alone, but my Uncle Kerry. Can I take a break?
So I'll be introducing our next speaker. This is Ms. Emily Pryor, and she will be telling about one of her cousin Nicole's her and her cousin Nicole's lifelong friendship. Over the years, she has formed a close relationship with Nicole and Ethan, her husband, and is so excited to be accelerating their day of marriage. Emily will be telling you a little about Nicole and Ethan over the years and how they've grown up together. So here's To Nicole and Ethan by Emily Pryor.
Hi, so as some of you know me, I am Nicole's weird little cousin that used to follow her around. Nicole and I were always forced to hang out when we were little, from family parties, and we shared a room every family vacation, and of course the countless sleepovers at her house. This was just, us being friends was just normal. Her freshman year of high school, I remember her telling me about this cute boy she was dating. And yes, it was Ethan. When he arrived at Thanksgiving, I was like, there is no way this is this cute boy. He was this skinny, quiet, little weird kid with long, shaggy hair. Did I mention quiet? The complete opposite of Nicole. It's now been 7 years of laughter with both of them at family parties, and yes, now all three of us share a room on family vacations, and we now have sleepovers at their house together. Ethan is no longer the skinny, quiet, and weird kid with the long, shaggy hair. He is Nicole's other half, and I've gotten the privilege to watch them grow together. Their love is so inspiring, and I can't wait to see where life takes them. So here's to Ethan and Nicole. Cheers.
Want to finish up?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I
Flip.
start? You might.
That'll be fine.
Okay. Before we get going, I just want to apologize. I was in Ireland over spring break on this week, and I buried my uncle. So this was kind of ironic that I'd done this eulogy, because I did one there. It was a little bit more personal there, and but laid to rest a great man, and who was my father. So I'm going to try to hold it together, but I'm going to push through because this honors his memory. So here we go again. I wanted to take the opportunity to thank each and every one of you this evening for joining me as a live celebration for my uncle. My uncle was born in Ireland. At age 5, he immigrated into the United States with his siblings and his father to seek a better opportunity in life. And although he lived in the United States for a brief period, he always considered Ireland his home. As my uncle grew older, the hardships of life molded him into the uncle that I knew and loved and respected. He was very hard-headed, he was opinionated, and he was stubborn as a mule. That's why I love him. He had to quit school at the age of 15 to care for his younger siblings and his father, my grandfather. But although he did that, he was highly skilled and intelligent, but he never got to complete his primary studies, which he often regretted. He was a hard worker, but was very insistent on treating everyone as family, no matter if they were blood or not. His love had no limits, and always greeted someone with a smile, a firm handshake, a hug, or a kiss. That was just the Irish way of doing things. But it was the hardest thing to say was goodbye to him when I was there. I've always had a special bond with my uncle. My grandfather lived with my uncle and took care of me, but he passed away in the mid-'80s, and I thought I would be alone. But my uncle told me that he loved me and he would make sure that I was always taken care of and loved in his home. As I grew older, my uncle would constantly travel to Ireland and come back, but he would remain for long periods of time to care for ailing and sick family members. My uncle's family oriented and believed that family came first and were of utmost importance. There were months that I would not see him, but when I did, I treasured every moment. But however, as with life, we grow old and time slips rapidly through our fingers. Although my uncle Carrie never had any biological children, He had many adopted children, which he considered his own, and you would not know any difference looking into our family. Gary continued to be the cohesive bond that held our family together until his health began to fade. I will always remember the phone call from my aunt on the fateful day that God decided it was time to end my uncle's suffering and bring him home. That was the day the angels cried as the gates of heaven were flung open and welcomed home such a great man. I will always appreciate my Uncle Kerry and his love he had for me and for everyone that had the privilege to know him. My uncle's love knew no limits and was reflected by his dedication and his faithfulness to his family. Kula Sabe, my dear uncle. Kula Sabe. Thank you.
Conclude. I'd like to take this final moment to conclude with by telling you about something that I've learned for many, many years through Boy Scouts. As I've mentioned, the first night we were together, I'm a Boy Scout camp counselor, so I know this stuff by heart and I've taught it. And part of scouting is this magical thing called the Scout Law, which has 12 points. Recited, it's the scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Now I'd like to just take the final moment to touch on the last point of the Scout Law, which is reverent. And reverence often means reverent to God, but it can also mean reverent to our values and traditions, reverent to what we've learned here and seen here tonight. Thank you.